Josh Bailey, Gateway Electronic Components. Thank you very much for joining us today. First of all, just tell everyone watching this, what you do, what your little bit of career today, and what the company does essentially in a quick overview.
Yeah, so Gateway Electronic Components, founded in 2000, so 22 years of business. Actually founded as a electronic component distributor, specialising in specialist components. So we're not the kind of the global player. We're the specialist player in markets where you really need technical support on key components. Over the years, we kind of grew into defined pillars within the business, and that then addressed certain areas, applications, and markets we could address with technical support, specific product lines to make sure that we are addressing each market and their requirements. And then probably within the last 8 years or so, we've actually moved and started adding value-added services to the component sale. So we're actually looking at selling solutions as a whole now, as opposed to just selling components.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, 22 years in this business is a lifetime essentially. So you can imagine. Tell me, I guess, a little bit more about that evolution. I guess was that sort of the way that the company's business model kind of had to change with the times, as it were?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the rise of the HSPs, even the online presence that these guys have, they were scaling at such a fast rate. Obviously, we are a relatively small company when you compare us to the likes of Mauser, DigiKey. So you have to differentiate. And our biggest asset was our ability to understand the technicalities of the product and the applications. And we always invested the time in that to support the customers where they had like a real challenge in design and they needed somebody just to say, which products do we need to use or how do we design this? It was always about adding support and always about adding value because we wanted customers, we didn't want to just sell them the product. To us, it's about a relationship. A lot of our customers have been with us for the duration of our business. So from initial engagements, we've got customers that have been with us for 22 years. We've got customers that have been with us 10 years. And we actually find new customers that come on board with us, they tend not to leave because of the support and service we offer.
Interesting. So, of course, we're here at the IoT Tech Expo today and tomorrow. Obviously you have that sort of in the product line, things like antennas, modems, routers. Tell me, I guess, about how that came about and I guess whether your customers, you say that they've followed you and throughout all their journeys, has that been part of their journey as well? Has that come through as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember IoT, that it was a buzzword to begin with. It's, what is IoT, Internet of Things? And it was initially so new that if you talk to different people at shows, everybody had a different version of what IoT meant to them. And we were lucky in a way that the MD had, it was an ex-colleague who started a business, Soretta, and they were manufacturing IoT devices, so cellular modems, routers, antennas, cables. They offered a full product range, and they were looking for distribution partners in the UK, and we became their flagship distributor in the UK because we could offer the technical support. That's what they were really after, because trying to sell, you could sell modems, but we found customers needed that support. And then we were seeing customers, really in the early days, a lot of people, smart devices still were in their infancy. I think people were trying to actually understand what IoT meant to them and how to then apply that technology. And where we are now, it's moved on so much that now we're seeing so many customers trying to adopt it. They understand where they need to be. And now they're within their own business doing proof of concept designs and trying to understand how they then move that forward within their business.
Yeah. I mean, Satya Nadella said, didn't he, that every business is going to be a technology business at some point. And I guess from your side, as almost a procure, the high-tech supplier, as it were, does that sort of resonate as well, that you have to go that extra step for them, as it were?
Yeah, absolutely. And our customers' requirements have pushed us into new technology as well, because we have a motto at the company that is Gateway Can Do, and it is very much a can-do attitude. So we have customers who have a problem, and we fix problems. That is what we are really good at. And if we have to then invest in new technology ourselves, or we have to actually create our own solutions, that's what we do. So it's helped us also push us into new technology for us to build on.
Okay, interesting. Obviously, lots of footfall at these trade shows. A lot of prospects that come to your stand as well. What have people been saying? Give me a flavour of what they've been saying. What are the sort of pressing concerns for, say, customers, prospects, and even suppliers, I guess?
I think a lot of people are surprised actually when they see our stand, because we can produce a full solution from start to finish. From if you gave me an idea today and say I need to make this a smart device, you could leave it with as little information as that, and we will go away, produce a design, and do a full turnkey solution from hardware to software platform, and even design an enclosure for this to all fit in, produce an end product. And what is surprising is a lot of customers are saying, I didn't know somebody like this existed, because previously, or even currently, some guys that we've not met before, they're saying, well, I have to go to this supplier for my SIM card, I have to go to this supplier for my modem, my antenna's coming from here, then I have to talk to our electronics design team here, they have to manufacture somewhere else. And they've got maybe 5 to 10 different entities they have to deal with to achieve the same thing that they can achieve with us just by talking to us, and we cover all that in-house. And a lot of their concerns actually, interestingly, is security, and trying to understand, make sure that what we're using is secure. We're lucky in that we utilize threat and also Particle, and Particle's flagship is how secure their devices are.
Is that almost the final piece of the puzzle, if you will? Because everyone talks about security. It's always the big bugbear, isn't
Yep.
it? Is there a growing sense of maturity now, you feel, in that market?
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to see it's kind of at the forefront of customers' minds as well at the minute. It's not just about buying a product and making this thing smart. People are understanding they need to tick extra boxes now to make sure that they have the security, they have a quality solution, and something that is resilient as well. And that's how we've designed our solution, is that full turnkey to make sure we've ticked all of those boxes for the customer, and that's what our system is great at.
Yeah. A lot of tech markets are seeing, looking into 2023, a lot of tech markets are seeing uncertainty at the moment. Obviously, things like the energy crisis, cost of living crisis, the war in Ukraine, impact on things like semiconductors and so on. Do you see that at the moment? Is there a certain sense of unease among prospects potentially?
I'd say war in the Ukraine, there was definitely, I would say that the market paused for a minute just to see where that was going to go. One of the benefits of Particle, for instance, they actually took what happened in the pandemic and looked at the war in the Ukraine, for example. Semiconductor shortages are obviously still a pain point for everybody in the industry. Particle actually redesigned their key chips to be what they call supply secure, and that means that they will guarantee a delivery date for you, and if they miss that delivery date, they will actually pay you or refund you a set amount of money, because they are so certain they can now supply this chipset when you require it. And that was all about them taking the market feedback that they get and saying the lead times are the pain point, and actually holding up us moving from POC to initial rollout, and then stopping companies growing at a time where, in lockdown, smart devices, if you had a smart device, suddenly you can do everything remote, and business was booming for people. So they needed to make sure they had that supply chain in place, and Particle reacted to that on a hardware front, unlike any other company that I know, to be honest. So there's definitely, I would say now, our customers, I wouldn't say there's any hesitation at the minute to really roll smart devices out, because I think they're also looking at, flip it around the other way. The cost saving that smart devices can actually add to a business is incredible, because you can do everything remotely. You now have all of the data in one place, and you can actually respond to that data automatically using like intelligent rules engines. And you can have one person managing a fleet of vehicles, for instance, from one location, whereas previously you might have had to have a team deployed throughout the country.
And with this in mind, I guess, what can we expect to see in the next 12 months, in your opinion, not just from your perspective at Gateway, but also for the industry as a whole? Is it recovery? Is it redemption? Is it resilience? What innovation? What's it going to look like?
I think companies will adapt, and I think they're already doing that. People are understanding that they have to, if they want to survive, they have to adapt. They have to go and do the redesigns that they really don't want to do. But people are doing it and investing. People are building in redundancies into supply chains. And actually, we've seen, especially on the distribution side, people are looking to place forecast orders and share that long-term picture to ensure that they have a guaranteed supply chain. And I think ultimately, smart devices, the rate that they're growing, taking 2022, I think that's going to continue accelerating, and the adoption of the smart technology is going to be one of the fastest growing markets that we've got.